have recovered. Now, Ghana's case count is still, as of today, 1,550, with I think our recovery is about 150 or so. And so we are still keeping an eye and monitoring. Now, we have, like we told you, His Excellency the President of the National Union of Ghana Student NUCS. He's here. And like I was telling you guys yesterday, he's very accessible. He's making sure that he gives you guys up-to-date update on what is going on with the union. So if you are watching and you are not a student, get all Ghanaian students to sit behind their television set, to hold the phone you are holding on Facebook, to get to understand what the president has for all of you. You can send your WhatsApp messages and text messages on 0548 503799, 0548 503799. Don't forget that we will be bringing you a countdown. Now, Youth Empowerment Television Show is going to give you an exclusive in partnership with Crossmark and Ghana Newsmail. We are giving you the top 20 universities with the best e-learning platform. Top 20 universities with the best e-learning platform so far as this COVID-19 pandemic issues are concerned, and we are going to release that on 1st May 1 p.m. at www.ghananewsmail.com. That is where we are going to have in fact, we are still having our investigations and monitoring and seeing which platform or which university platform is the best so far as COVID-19 this pandemic and all of these things are concerned. So I'm going straight to the discussion with Jay Hyde, and I'm going to ask all your questions for you. You know, at this stage, he's not my friend. As the show begins, I'll ask all the difficult questions so he can answer them. Your Excellency, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Such a pleasure to have you on Youth Empowerment Television Show.
Diana is always mine.
You made us very proud. I think somewhere last week Friday, we saw you addressing His Excellency the President of Ghana. In fact, he invited you after you were speaking, and you gave a best speech to me, very short, precise, and he is a global icon. And of course, if you ask every student, that's what we are going to say. He's really made us proud. But that statement, I'll start with that. Does it represent your view, or that is the view of Ghanaian student, that the president is a global icon?
Well, at this stage, if I speak in my capacity as president of the National Union of Ghana Students, obviously I'm speaking in the minds of Ghanaian students.
Okay.
And I, as a leader, must make informed decisions, or my opinions must reflect the thoughts and perceptions of the people that I seek to lead. So, for instance, if you have a president who, in times of crisis, has been decisive as to the way forward the country should take, without necessarily having to follow blindly the position of the West, knowing very well that our cultures and norms are different, then I believe that such a leader has been bold enough to take a decision. This is commendation. If I say that my colleagues or my membership, both home and abroad, commend you for your efforts thus far, then I'm recognizing a leader who has been bold to send kinky to my students in China for them to feel at home. Recognize the fact that it is not just about being there and ensuring that somebody is being spoken to or not. I told you the other time, each and every student in Wuhan was given, about 344 students was given $500.
Wow.
And that is a decisive decision. What the national scholarship secretariat does was that each and every quarter they lump the allowances for students together and pay them. When this crisis happened, government recognized the need not to delay with such payments, because some students actually use their money for various materials, not only about feeding. And so government, somewhere February, ensured that every student was paid, even though it was not the time, because they were supposed to have been paid at the end of the month, March. And so, sampling the views of all the students. And prior to that, I had been in a conference organized by the All Africa Students Union, which brought all student leaders across the continent together for them to share their ideas, perspectives.
Where did that take place?
Oh, it was a webinar which was on live on Facebook and Zoom. And it brought the student leaders of Morocco, Kenya, Tanzania, and that place for them to come and share their experience of what is actually happening in their country. And you could tell that Ghana has taken a path which is different from everybody. Go after the data and take decisive decisions. Putting all these things together and having reflected on it with people who matter, the path we can see and boldly stand by is that our president is a global icon. We can also make references to, the World Health Organization boss who had made reference to recognizing his statement about the fact that we can bring economy back to life, we cannot bring back human lives. I think it's a recognition of international order. There has also been this guy, this tennis fanatic, Arsenal fan who's all the time on Sky Sports. I've forgotten the name, but he has also recognized.
Is it Roger Federer?
No. He's a tennis fanatic. He's been a sports anchor. I mean, very popular. I mean, always very active on Twitter. Okay. We also recognize some of these wonderful statements of our presidents. Beyond the statements, that's also. I mean, we cannot get everything perfectly. You understand? And it's not everybody who agree with some of the things we say, but realistically, representing the views of my people, this is where we stand. Okay.
So that statement was the view of. Let's go. What has Nooks been doing so far as this COVID-19 is concerned?
Quite a lot. So. First of all, when COVID struck, nobody expected COVID to come into play. And having campaigned on this your platform, I've shared with people my policies and what we see to champion, which has been anchored on the drive agenda. But we ask ourselves, with COVID has stagnated a whole lot of things, but does that mean that automatically the bus have to come to a halt? No. We need to be innovative because that is what we've been trained to do. And so first of all, we thought was, how do we fit or meet the time? And as is always said, the true test of a leader is not where he stands in times of comfort, but where he stands in times of challenges or chaotic moments like this. It is very difficult making decisions at times like this because external forces are things you cannot control. And that's exactly the challenge that COVID presents to us. Now, what we started with, we realized that one, the president gave a directive for us to go into e-learning. One thing that normally student leaders have done over the past is we recognize the fact that we need to study the terrain and understand what we are doing because we are all not familiar with the terrain. So we need to pick feedback from our students. In doing so, we supported over 300 students with data for them to go onto the e-learning platform. Have a feel of it.
Nooks gave how many students?
Over 300 students.
300 students across the country or Accra?
Yes.
Across the country
across the country because no, I will explain to you the process that you need to go through.
That's very important.
Yes, because one, first of all, we open a platform. We says that if you have challenges accessing the e-learning platform and the challenge is purely about data, then we are in to help. Unfortunately, we are not in the capacity to help everybody. So we'll narrow our strength to what we can afford. So first of all, call our hotlines as we put out there. Tell us, show us evidence that when you are a student, the institution that you belong to, and the class schedule that I have a class at this time. Provide with all these details, and we shall provide you data. Indeed, there's evidence to show that indeed students got data. Having done that, it means that we have been part of the process of ensuring that students participate in the process. Because right from the onset, the perception created was that we are more or less against e-learning. No. We recognize that these are not normal times. We also recognize that we cannot play chaskele with the lives of students. And so there was a need for us to help with the process of making sure that the right things are in place. Having provided the data, it was for students to go out there and come and tell us their feedback. Fortunately for me, before the implementation of this e-learning program, I had been part of a government setup that was assessing the readiness of state institutions to deploy an open university system. An open university thrives
before the lockdown?
Before the lockdown. Because we are anticipating that the over 41% increment in numbers of admissions in September due to the free SHS was going to lead to an extra congestion on our campuses, which had already put stress on the system. And so how do we migrate a number of these students onto an e-learning platform, purely e-learning, so that we don't end up putting pressure on it? Because, I mean, you cannot build superstructures on shifting sands. Eventually, you collapse the whole system. And so this thing was already in place before this e-learning platform came in place. Fortunately, by giving data, we're able to assess what was on the grounds. We spoke to the various institutions, University of Ghana, UCC, for them to give us data on what exactly is pertaining on their campuses. They come to tell us that, we have genuine challenges. Some of the challenges that we have has to do with accessibility. Accessibility is data, the cost of data. It is double jeopardy. I mean, you are my learned colleague or learning colleague. In double jeopardy, we all understand the fact that you cannot ask a student to pay school fees and at the same time ask the person to go and buy data. Because school fees has two components. You have the residential user facility fee and academic user facility fee. Academic user facility fee happens to be the classroom, the light blue, the chairs and other things. This time around, the student is not in the classroom. He's in the house. But you are still asking the student to pay. So there has to be a cost share element. For which reason, institutions should have taken the responsibility of ensuring that their students have data, which they haven't done that. And therefore, there's a need for government to make a statement on that, because it's a policy direction. Secondly, there was a need for us to also make a statement on student loan. As I speak to you, we have at every point in time of a shift, over 90,000 students moving to the tertiary institutions. Of these 90,000 students, we have 34,000 students dependent on student loan. That tells you that for a potential every shift, there's about 10% of students who rely on student loan for every academic year. Now, of this 10%, they are solely dependent on government financing. Government fails to pay, eventually they also not get money.
Yeah.
Now we also recognize that these are not normal times.
Yeah.
Government already doesn't have money because government is reliant on revenue. Now we are saying that businesses should close. How do we go to the same government to say that the businesses that have closed, where he's supposed to get the money? He's supposed to get money to come and pay us our school fees.
Can't Nooks, as a matter of statement, demand, because it looks like you are already admitting government does not have money.
Yeah, so
government may not have money. They can solicit for 100 million to build a cathedral. They can't solicit money to give us data.
You are cutting me. The point is that,
yes,
I mean, we cannot determine where at what point in time government chooses to invest in, because government does not only build churches.
When students are in need.
No, so what we have professed is also about living within the moment. That when we make when we present petitions, when we condemn the money and other things, we don't just, as my style of leadership, you don't just only condemn, you also make recommendations. Exactly. So that government must understand. Also recognize that the times that we are in, but those times must not outweigh the need for education. And so we are saying that if you cannot give us the money now, recognizing the time that we find ourselves, then give a directive to each and every institution to allow our students to register. Yeah. Because you and I know that on 29th of January when we made the press conference, it took us an extra month and plus of weeks for us to engage government to ensure that 10 million Ghana cedis go to pay 30,000 people, which as I speak to you, we need 3 million Ghana cedis to the student loan secretary to offset the balance of the 4,000.
Wow.
Then aside that, we are also to start fresh for the 34,000 students for the second semester. Putting all this together, it is questionable and rational as a leader to find ways of mitigating the problem, because I know
why must it take your leadership to get government to do what it must do to get students to register? Students do not need to stress themselves in all of this. Why should government do that? They don't care about students.
It's two things. I cannot speak for government.
Yes, but you speaking for students. What do you think is the cause?
Well, my position is
they don't care about your students.
I cannot speak for them. But do
you feel they don't care about your students?
No, my position is about priorities.
So students are not part of their priorities.
At this point in time, all I'm saying is that it's priorities. They can choose what they prioritize. I cannot speak for them. And what I think is that they have chosen at what point in time to do with what. Yeah. And you see, you can narrow down the challenges, the issues with the Ministry of Finance and how funds are transferred, the component of student loan that comes from Get Fund, which you and I know comes from three components: the talk time tax, the issue about repayments of people who have been past beneficiaries, and of course the cap 10% of monies that goes to Get Fund that is supposed to go to student loan. We have issues on all these things. Maybe we need a deliberate policy, and that is why I always say that we need to have a holistic conversation as to how education financing will go in this country. Then again, we also should recognize that network challenges across the country. I stay at Dansoman, and there are days within some areas within my area where you don't even get network. And so that asking students to be 100% rely on the system is a challenge. And then finally, having identified all these problems, is the need to also look at writing final examinations on the e-learning platform. Let it be said that yes, institutions may have.
Are these commentaries or strong positions upcoming for Nooks?
No, that is what this thing has been communicated to government already.
So it means that Ghanaian students watching us should know that their president is with them. Their president is insistent that government should not allow final exam to be written on the platform.
Exactly. So these are the things that brought us to the face of the president.
That's fine.
These are the things that we have echoed and pushed that brought us to meet the
because
president.
People thought it was just breakfast or lunch or dinner with president.
No, but I mean, when people think that way, they are fine to think, but it's unfair because at every point in time that we have engaged government, perhaps because the president, and for the first time ever since I started student politics, this is the first time I've heard the president meeting Nooks.
For example,
in a long time. Maybe it has happened in the past. And so the attention has focused on the president aspect. But the point is that we had meetings with the stakeholders, the National Council for Tertiary Education, the Ministry of Education, I mean the Vice Chancellor's Ghana. All these are major stakeholders in the decision making.
Is it Nooks or some of the agencies and
Nooks, and at every point in time, Nooks is a membership of various student unions. And sometimes when you are going, in order to appeal to have stronger case, you carry your soldiers along, you carry your people, and that's why you bring in the USAC, the TAG, and all the blocks for us to have a collective voice and champion a common agenda. And so, in all these meetings, we report back to our people that based on these meetings, this is what we have come up with. I hope you understand me.
Yeah.
And so, in our last meeting, we made it the point that looking at the challenges that we have, writing final exams on e-learning platform, we should take a second look at it. And whenever I say this, I look back to the University of Professional Studies because they have led the way. They have shown us that institutions are not managed rigidly. Leadership must be innovative. And then they say that, well, because one, you need to identify something. For you to harness a good e-learning system, you need to have one, accessibility, and the means to access it. The means comes in two forms: the data and the hardware component, which is either a gadget, which is a phone, or whatever.
Yeah.
We also recognize that these are times. We cannot say that we can provide for everybody,
yes,
but at least the common means should be made available.
Yeah.
One, which is data, the critical component, and two, ensuring that students wherever they are have access to the platform.
Yeah.
And I'll give you some data. The World Bank says that 1.2 million of Ghanaians are within the poverty zone.
They can't even afford.
You
all
understand?
Of those gadgets.
Now, 20% of Ghanaians do not have access to electricity.
20% of Ghanaians.
20% of Ghanaians do not have access to electricity.
22.5.
The 22 increase when we have done so issues, and for which reason we have to put it together and say that people don't have access to electricity. But 1.2 million of Ghanaians do not have television in their homes. 1.2 million of Ghanaians. And now we are not talking about individuals, we are talking about homes.
Yeah. So it means that they could even be 5, 4, 3.
Exactly. You understand? So the reality is that when we are giving reasons that yes, we could make do with other things, we need to factor in all the minute issues which collectively come together to create a major problem for education.
I'll get to you. It's 1:30. I will want to allow Jay to take some small water, and we'll be back after the break. When we come back, I've seen lots of your messages. I'll be reading it for you so that we can get the show running. I'm going for a break. I'll come back and continue the questions for you. Right.
I'd always known that I wanted to be a fashion designer. As a little girl, I'd be found looking at the patterns and designs of clothes, but to people, this was only a childish dream. But I knew that I had to be part of the fashion world, and so I had to make a choice. During my admission process, I spoke to the counselor at the SFD, and I knew immediately that I was at the right place, a place that could take my imagination and dreams into a reality.
My favorite part about studying SFD is that the classroom is not the only place where we learn about fashion and design. We organize fashion shows, we attend fashion events, which become a part of our learning process.
We work in a dedicated lab with a special card machine. I can design and print my own design on a garment using the card machine.
Our performance in the college is evaluated on the basis of what we learn in these outside events. And no, I am not complaining at all because I love attending these shows with my classmates and especially with my friends.
At Blue Crest School of Fashion and Design, I've learned about the different ways in which an ordinary piece of fabric can be used to create beautiful design.
The program structure and lessons allows me to be creative and know the diverse areas in the fashion world. My classmates, who are equally talented, help me in this avenue.
I did not know that there were so many techniques and ways in which we can completely transform our everyday clothes into something extraordinary and unique. I am learning something new here every day at SFD.
I don't think I would have learned so many things by undergoing an online course or a distance learning program in my subjects.
Now, I'm confident to say that I can open a brand of my own.
All right, welcome back. This one says that University of Education Winneba is worse. I can confirm. This one also says that God knew COVID-19 would affect students in 2020. That is why he brought Hyde to drive the car. This one says that 2020, in times like this, God brought Akufo-Addo at this period and Hyde at this period. Okay. This one says that, long one. I'll go finish this one. Hello, today read my comment to I think Jay Hyde is setting new record for the National Union of Ghana student. He's too calm. I can testify. I received some of the Nooks credit. Okay, that's good. confirmation of the data some of the students received. This one says that, good afternoon, I'm Ben, University of Education, Winneba. Nooks is really helping us, but the e-learning system is very stressful. Our LMS is not opening, even if we have good network signal. So what the Nooks president is saying is true. What are they doing to help us? University of Education, Winneba has already scheduled online midterms on 11th of May. Wow. Wow. Good afternoon to you. I'm Latif from Tamale. Greetings to you. I'm happy our president speak about student loan trust fund. It's unfortunate that we are at home now. We need money to buy data. I don't understand why they still keep our money, because this is the time for us to use the money for our e-learning purposes. Richmond, pressuring Hyde is not fair. Richmond, pressuring Hyde is not fair. Let him share the views of the union and let's make constructive criticisms out of the entire educational system. He is a preacher of good news. This is Robert, Nooks administrator. Oh, Robert, This one says that, good afternoon. If Akufo-Addo is a global icon, how do you describe President Paul Kagame? I'm one of the few people, though I support him, I like his administration, I feel he's not a demigod. Paul has challenges and issues. That's how come the top press freedom countries in Africa released today doesn't have Rwanda as part of it. Anyways, that's my personal opinion, not the opinion of the station. This one says that this Nooks president is simply a politician doing the bit of the MPP. This is Osman in Wa. Do you have any evidence to support that? Okay, let's read some text messages, then we can come back to the studio. This one says that, please, I know this is not part of your discussion, but I need help. I'm a proprietor, and the I think National Association of Private Schools is asking us to pay 150 Ghana cedis to enjoy a package from the government, and some of us are worried. Oh, boss, you.
That's chops.
Serious. Okay, let me read your messages on Facebook so that we quickly come back to the to the studio. Wow. Lots of messages here in the studio. This one says that his name is His Royal Highness Don. Is sexy Don. Okay. Please, this e-learning is killing the students. Even in Legon, those students on distance learning education have been complaining that their lecturer don't attend lectures, yet they set exam questions. It's a complete mess. This government is a complete joke. The universities are waste of everyone's time now. They are only interested in money. This is okay. Kwesi Kwarteng also says that post-student loan discussions should also be brought to the table in coming days. It takes a minimum of 10 years for the average graduate to get a permanent job. How do policymakers expect us to pay such a loan, which keeps running over the years as a compound interest rate? Kwesi Kwarteng again comes again, says that post-student loan discussion. Okay, I think I've read this. Okay, again on Facebook, this one also says that the introduction of e-learning system is putting most of the students at a disadvantage. We acknowledge the steps taken so far by Nooks, and we hope for the good measures from the Ministry of Education on how students would assess this semester. This is Shadrach and not This one also says that, good afternoon. I want to know if private universities are part of the free data. My name is Vitrus from Sunyane. This one says that I didn't know my president is this calm and good. The future of Ghana's politics is very bright with Jay Hyde. Okay, this one says that, good afternoon. What I have to say and what I am saying is that every day, every night, you would give us the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 and their death and recovered. Why won't you show us on television for us to watch what is going on there? In my area, so many people are telling me it's not true, because the white men are showing theirs once on TV, but Ghana, we are not showing anything on TV. Are you sure? This one says, hello, I want to ask if government is making consideration to resume school. Testing centers. No should be asking government when they are going to resume school, as they've resumed the market. Marketplaces, church stations are social gathering centers, and social gathering we cannot restrict at the stations. Universities have classrooms which are spacious and they can minimize the numbers. School must be open. Nooks has a misplaced priority. This one says, hi Richie, I love your shirt. This is Nanama from... Is it Swanson or Nanama Swatson from Dansuman? Okay, thank you so much. Wow. Lots of messages. Jay, I mean, you know, your meeting with the president. So, what was the president's response? those students who have not had the privilege to read from the presidency.gov, the website, to look at the president, what is the president's official response to your students?
Well, so in a meeting of that nature, the first thing that happens is to exchange pleasantries. He has welcomed you to his home, so he welcomed you, give you reasons why he's invited you to his home. And you as a leader, you also accept the welcome and also acknowledge some of the things that he has done. It's purely protocol. And so
no discussion happened?
No, discussions happen. Okay. But I mean, the aspect that the media has reported, and people trivialize some of these things. That's the aspect that they have chosen to be interested in. Then the critical real deal is now the things that we are going into.
Okay, sure.
You get it? Where I have stated that the network issues and all the things, all lumped up together. And in fact, even with the graduate students, people who are the master students, they are supposed to have timelines for thesis presentation and other things. All these things were factored in the issue presentation. Collectively, whereas when you come to Vice Chancellor's Ghana and then Conference of Heads of Assisted Council of Independent Universities, you realize that with this, they are more or less independent as to how they roll out their programs. When it comes to the teacher trainees, they have a collective bargaining, and so all institutions roll up on one platform. You get it, like the way the technical universities does. And so with this particular one, having presented all this issue before the president, we need to take a look at it. And in that meeting, the Minister of Education was there. The Minister of Education in charge of tertiary at the president was equally there. And then we took the issues. The issue about data, for instance, we recognize that yes, the government says that MTN and Vodafone has agreed to zero rate the platforms. You get it, and so students who are using some of these platforms are not supposed to be charged. But we went further to say that no, you cannot leave it there. In the coming days, these are the argument that we are pushing. That yes, you can tell us that institutions, MTN and Vodafone, are zero rating the platform, but also recognize that not all institutions have LMS or e-learning platforms, and for that matter, they are using third-party platforms like Zoom, Google Classroom, and other things. Zoom especially takes a lot of data. And so when you say that we are going to use e-learning, you must also recognize that we must provide the necessary infrastructure for students to be able to study. Because education is not just about going to say that we are teaching. We are teaching for people to understand, for them to be able to churn out something and be better people in life. So it is not just about saying that we've created a classroom. Because you see, the average classroom we have in Ghana today sometimes stretches as much as 80 to 120. Meanwhile, by world standard, it's supposed to be maximum 40. And so if you are saying that you have a class of let's say 120 people, 80 people, you get it. I mean, you come to Gimpa Law School, we are 40, which is brilliant. I mean, Gimpa is a unique case. By the end of the day, you come up online and you are teaching online, right? And you have just 10 people, 20 people of the number, then it tells you there's a problem. So irrespective of what you have put out there, you need to also ensure that the people who the policy seeks to benefit get it.
Jay, now, beautiful ideas, brilliant things in the pipeline after the president's speech. You have been speaking with the Minister of Education. You have had the privilege on behalf of the Ghanaian students to speak with the Minister in charge of tertiary education at the presidency, or the Minister of State in charge of that. You have spoken to the Council of Tertiary, National Council of Tertiary Education and all of that. Ghanaian students are watching you. Can you confirm, and this is your camera, can you confirm, when do you think would be a timeline, proximate timeline, not definite, proximate timeline that students are likely to go back to school?
The issue is not as to when students will go to school. It's about when the atmosphere is conducive to go to school.
So it's indefinite for now?
Yes.
Okay, because so students, if you are watching,
going to school, it's not just about vacation and going to school. In the year 96-97, we had a whole year of no school because of a strike. Now this year, we may, given COVID, because the situation is largely reliant on how we are able to contain the COVID situation. I don't think that any parent will allow the child to go to Legon or other schools when we know very well that our hostels and other places are congested.
So I want to put it. Okay, so I want to suggest this to you.
Right.
Would you allow students to go out there to do voters registration if the EC decides to register them? Because no child, like you're saying, would allow children to go in because you care for the children. I mean, you care for the student. And this is a direct question, Jay. So let's not bring it on.
No, relax. No. You see, the point is that the two are mutually exclusive.
Very well, but
I'm the leader of students.
So I'm saying on behalf of your students.
Listen, when EC opens voters register, they are not going to say that students come and register.
No, I'm saying that in your capacity as a student leader, if SRCs call you that say, Jay, we want to our students are asking us, the government is not allowing schools to resume now. EC says we should come and do voter registration. The students are asking us, should we go and register for voters register? Would you tell them to go?
if government gives a directive that is requiring students to come to their campuses to register, we have a cause to say anything. But if people stay in their homes and within their fundamental human rights, in the bit of exercising their franchise, they themselves take the singular decision of going to register, it is purely an individual decision.
So if it is purely an individual decision, one student going to, God forbid, contract a virus in this, as you are saying, it could even go a year without this virus going away. Would you advise, even though it's in their own capacity, would you advise students?
My decision will be informed on available information as at the time. Realistically, yes. My decision will be informed on available data as at the time. If they, and I'm telling you for a fact that if the situation that prevails, that COVID is really rampant at that time, we'll definitely kick against that. And we have not shied away, because when the National Identification Authority was in the process of registering people in the Eastern region, the National Union of Ghana Students came up with a statement to say that halt the process because it is a threat to the lives of people, especially when the president has given a directive that people should stay away from congested areas. And so our position has never been in doubt.
Okay, how many student platforms, online platforms, have you personally asked your team? Have you assessed? Let's before we even go to the realms of data, network, all of those things. Are you aware some universities have not even rolled out at all any e-learning platform?
You know, the beautiful thing is that we are all students, and so we also have our fair share of what happens on the e-learning platforms. That aside, we are also, you know, surrounded by people who have varying challenges based on the campuses that they belong to.
No, I'm not asking for the individual students and the challenge. I'm saying that, are you aware that some institutions your students are in have not even rolled out? Have you had a research that suggests, or you are saying authority that every student platform, every university platform your students are on is doing very well? Can you say that?
No, I mean, we cannot even say that even the institutions with the best of infrastructures are doing well. University of Ghana has Sakai platform, but we cannot say that.
Do you know what is going on Christian Service University online platform?
I cannot say specifically.
Do you know what is going on UCC educational platform?
I know.
Do you know what is going on Regent University platform?
I cannot speak for every institution.
No, I'm coming. Do you know what is going on University of Ghana platform?
I know what is happening.
So you know what is going on University of Ghana, you know what's going on UCC, but you don't care about private universities. Is that the case? No, you don't know what's going on Christian Service, you don't know about Regent University.
I know what is happening in Methodist University. I know what is happening in King's University.
You guys are politicians.
But the point is that I cannot. So it will be a bit unfair to me to say that. I mean, but I am a student of a private university fraternity, and I am here today because PUSAC played a very instrumental role to ensure that I am here. And so it is far-fetched if you say that. I mean, I don't care. But the reality is that, you see, we cannot deal with everybody at a certain level. We really need to recognize the challenges that pertains at every area and deal with it as such. To understand that, yes, when it comes to infrastructure, especially with the issue of e-learning, we recognize that the private universities, most especially, are the ones who are very much affected with this e-learning because they have been a bit slow in the implementation of LMS, and for which reason, in fact, when we're even calling for data, majority of them, because they also pay higher school fees.
So now the students should know that NUCS is now calling for government that if you want us to pay our fees, if you want us to do whatever we are supposed to do, NUCS is calling on government to allow our students have free data.
Yes, as for the data, it's a necessity. And I'm saying that the excuse of the government is that we have zero-rated the platforms. But if you are zero-rating the platform, you need to have a structure. And that is if we all agree that, for instance, University of Ghana, we are using Sakai. But in instances where people do not have these learning management systems, and they have to rely on third parties like Zoom, then obviously there's a need to make an intervention.
Okay, good. Now we all admit brilliant things you're doing and all of that. Why is NUCS not operating in their office up until just a few weeks ago? Because your PRO was here and said after the swearing in, you guys cannot even work from home, and I have the tape I could play for you. Do not work from home. The office wasn't able to, you cannot use the office, and you guys just started working during the COVID-19. In fact, to the extent that the office wasn't fit for occupation such that you had to even use the office as warehouse to pack foodstuffs. Why is that the case?
Well, I'll start this by commending my predecessors, Mr. Gombila and Mr. Tinkaro, who, for their goodwill and efforts towards the National Union of Ghana Students, we will have unity. I also recognize that, I mean, unity was going to come with a price. And for which reason, coming into this office, we need to start from somewhere. A lot of things have happened in the past. If we say we are going to dwell in it, we probably will be drawing ourselves back. Now, I'm on the journey to create a very good rule for the image of the National of Ghana students. Dwelling into the past will bring, if you don't take care, unnecessary things that in the minds of the corporate agencies and bodies that we are dealing with will stagnate the
Is that
efforts
decision your personal decision or decision Ghanaian students will be happy about?
I have sat with my executives and we've understood this. That is not to say we are not interested in issues that affect our office. So now I'm going to our office.
Of course.
Now, our office was quite dilapidated for the time being. I mean, it had not been used.
What time being?
So
is it the time you were handed over all
the period when, I mean, the division was in place. The last time I was in the Nook's office was when Prof. Fajiche was the president of the National of Ghana Students.
Okay.
I salute him this afternoon. Tinkaro took over and did some good work there.
Okay, so viewers, as I'm speaking with Jay Hyde, who is the president of the National Union of Ghana Students, please watch on the screen. My producer will be showing to us how the Nook's office was and how it has been renovated. And I'll review something to you. Now, the old pictures of Nook's office that you'll be seeing before we bring you the new. Okay, so this is the old state of Nook's office. In fact, if we are showing you how it was before the outgoing president renovated. In fact, he renovated with 200,000 Ghana cedi. So we'll show you the new face of what the 200,000 cedis has done. In fact, there were a lot of allegations of the money being more. But what he has confirmed is that Get Fund supported Nooks to renovate the new office. We'll show you the picture of the renovation of 200,000 Ghana cedi. So that we would, this will be a running story. So that we will see how best we hold our leaders accountable and all of that. So this is how the state was. This is how the state of the Nooks office was. So if it can be rolling faster a bit, so this is how it was before they renovated with 200,000 Ghana cedi. So if Mr. Mensah can, if we can have this a bit, so our president can also what? Maybe he didn't even know this was how his office was, so he would know that 200,000 changed a lot of things. 200,000 Ghana cedi. So this was how. Okay, so this is it the old? No, this is new. This is how. Okay, so this is part of the 200,000 renovation. This is how the washroom has been renovated. Not 2,000 cedis, not 20,000 cedis. I'm saying 200,000 cedis. So this was how the washroom was, and the new one is what we saw. This is how it has been done. 200,000 cedis. Let's look at the other new things that have been done with 200,000. So this is wooden partition with surface wiring and all of that with wooden tiling. So this is all part of the 200,000. Tonight, okay. So this is all part of the 200,000 renovation. So this is a 200,000 cedis renovating this facility. 200,000 cedis. Okay. So you are seeing what the 200,000 cedis has been done. In fact, he said that he has not received money from Maslock. He has not received money from Ghana Gas. He has not received money from anywhere. In fact, that 10,000 cedis the vice president gave was a transportation to the executives that came there. And that the only dues, in fact, this is 200,000 cedis. The only dues he received, I think, was that of University of Ghana. And so, those who are making allegations, please let Tinkaro rest. He received only 200,000 cedis from GetFat. Chairman, this is the office you have inherited. Beautiful office. 200,000 cedis. Were you handed over any receipt or breakdown of the expenditure of the 200,000 cedis? Because we had an investigative team to do all of this.
Well, when we took over from the previous, you realized that the union had been in shambles from transition issues and other things. And so it was a choice between taking over a union that had been in shambles and continuing the fights and the turmoil. And at every point in time, I maintain that the media that we run to go and make some of these allegations and all this turmoil, it's the same place that we end up dirtying ourselves. I would rather, as much as we will solve our problems in-house, because the image of our union is what makes us relevant today.
No, but you see, that Nooks doesn't belong to you. Nooks doesn't belong to, Nooks doesn't belong to Tinkaro. Nooks doesn't belong to you, the few executives there.
Right.
Nooks belong to the Ghanaian student who is in class 6,
right.
the PhD student. You guys cannot take decisions only on our behalf without consulting us. And did you or did you not receive breakdown of the expenditure of 200,000 cedis on this video? Did you receive any handing over document of how this 200,000 was spent as president?
Like
the students want to know.
As a matter of fact, I'm just hearing of the 200,000 recently. You are the one giving me details.
So you were not handed over.
Said that,
yes, but you have
said that when I live here, I'll go and.
So on record, you are going to check it, but you have not received any document of an expenditure of 200,000 cedis.
No, I mean whatever I've heard is just by mere conversation.
It's just conversation.
And, I mean allegations.
So no proper handing over on this account?
No, on this particular issue, no.
Okay,
no.
So is it true that the whole National Union of Ghana student, the bank account balance that was left for you to run the office was 45 Ghana cedi? Was that the truth? Ghanaian students are watching. Ghanaian students, because you guys received, on record, you guys received 45,000 cedis, and you are telling us it's 45 Ghana cedis.
The money,
how can you do that?
The money that was left in our accounts,
yes,
was 45 cedis. I mean, 45.
No. I mean, like, how many accounts? Two or one?
No, there's one account, like 50 Ghana, less than 50 Ghana cedis.
45 Ghana cedi.
Yes. That was the money. I mean, you're asking
but the 45 Ghana cedi, did it come with a bank statement on transactions of 200,000 cedis and other things?
We are still taking care of some of these things, and what we have agreed on was to invite all our previous executives for us to sit and have discussions around this. And so, unfortunately, COVID delayed the process a bit. And so, what we are doing is that we're engaging. But if it's to speak to the facts,
did this new office that was renovated with 200,000 cedis have air conditions?
No.
It didn't have air condition.
No.
Did it have curtains, even material curtains?
No.
Not blind curtains?
No.
And you guys were given about 50 office furnitures.
50?
How many chairs were you given in the 200,000 cedis?
I think.
Why are you hiding information from Ghanaian students?
I'm not. I mean, I've been dwelling in this thing within the media spaces where I have a challenge, especially when I feel we can deal with it in-house. Notwithstanding, since it's...
So are you saying you didn't receive 50 chairs, executive chairs?
No.
Executive cushion chairs?
No.
You received how many chairs?
Less than 15.
Wow.
Yes, less than 15.
But the NUG's presidential office, I understand, has been made in such a way that it is very conducive, very comfortable, with sliding windows and all of that. Is that the case for your office as president?
Is it? I mean, are you speaking to facts or specifics?
You see, Jay, you know, I'm a law student like yourself,
right,
and there must always be a position of facts and also allegations. I showed you pictures of what I'm about.
Okay, so facts are sacred.
Yeah.
My office is not sliding windows, maybe not yet. What I know is that it's better than before. There has been some renovations.
And you think the 200,000 is justified per what you have seen?
I'm not hearing that. I need to, you see, and just as you said, I'm a law student, and I need to have my facts right before I communicate. And so, having said that, I'll go back and then speak to the data where I need to compare.
So why were you not using the office if it has been better?
Oh, well, we're definitely going to use the office, except it needs a bit of a touch-up. We need to...
Touch-up? Get Fund giving you 200,000 cedis. In fact, the original proposal was for Get Fund to give them about 400 or 600 cedis. And Get Fund only gave them 200 Ghana cedi. So, in fact, on record, Tenkaro did not, or the administration did not receive the cash by hand. In fact, it was the according to them, they brought the invoice from the various companies, and the Get Fund paid those people. You know, but I asked them, did they go through procurement processes? How were those companies looked for to compare price? And said, oh no, honestly, there was no sole sourcing. It was by how do you call it?
Yes, so it's sole sourcing.
Sole sourcing.
Yes, and which is allowed in the face of the law.
No, sole sourcing is allowed in the face of the law when there are emergencies. There are other things that must be met. Which emergency was NUGS facing?
Well, in this state, because NUGS does not have its internal procurement processes or laws that...
Is NUGS acting out of the laws?
Get Fund should have done that, and I'm sure... I mean, I'm not speaking for them, but I'm expecting that maybe Get Fund should have asked for some of these things.
What do you think about your president's response to what we are saying? Send your message. I want to read to him. I want to read it to him. You know, the reason why I'm putting this on record is that, in fact, Tenkaro, or the former president, feels some of his good works should be appreciated. Look at the state of the old office and how he tended to become. Now, the issue at hand is not the work he has done. The issue at hand is the value, the money. That's what, because I spoke to him and I love what I saw. Just that the amount of money and what it has been done. Because yesterday, when you guys also went to the vice president, so you people, when you go and represent us at the vice president's office, at the president's office, when you represent us and they give you transportation, you don't account for it. You don't account for gifts.
Well, you see,
when you went to president's meeting, how much did he give you for transportation? Did the president give you transportation? Did the president give you transportation? The student want to know.
I mean, I think
did
that
the president give?
I think that it is not for me to confirm this on as to whether we are doing transportation or not.
Should not know about this.
No, it's a need to know basis, and so some of these things we need to.
But did you receive money?
We need to put it in perspective.
Did you receive money from the president as transportation?
No, the point is that I'm not my FC. My financial controller was not there. The second person in charge would have been my secretary. And so if he wants to account for that, fine.
So,
but the point is that
on record,
procedurally, when I was going to the president's office, I drove. Yes. They had to forward that for me. There are people who transported themselves from Kumasi and other places. Basically,
so you receive money for transportations by the president?
It's a standard procedure.
So the standard procedure is that president gave you guys money for transport?
That is why you are specific. Transportation, yes. Transportation is transportation.
Yes. So the value for the transportation is what we don't know. Because the vice president gave Nooks previously 10,000. Yours may be between 50 to 100,000. Is that true?
Oh my God. Well, so let's go back to the issues. As I was saying, on the issue, as I was saying on the issue of the office, I think that yes, the concerns are genuine, and maybe there will be a need for us to look into it because this is public.
I'm sorry, viewers, you see me looking up. I just want to read some messages, then we can wrap up. So they'll be giving him a close-up shot so that he can address these issues.
This is a public interest matter, and we owe a duty to the people who we swore to serve to give them accounts of whatever happened at the Nooks office. And I can show you.
I know the Jay. I remember Jay and I, viewers. We were in the law student demonstration, and for the first time, I saw somebody. I felt that zeal that would stand for students, devoid of any political infiltration or whatever. And for me, I'll be the last person to believe he can be politically corrupt. I will be against anybody who thinks, or even with Tenkaro, the two of them are people I admire a lot. But your response, Jay, this afternoon, it's shocking.
No, you see, I apologize to everyone or anyone out there who has a certain expectation of how I should respond to this matter. But whoever has concerns about this particular issue, I'm sure a number of people are also hearing it for the first time. But I, as a leader, should recognize the difficult times I find myself in. That I'm leading a union that has over the years suffered from the mistakes and miscalculations of individuals. And for that matter, as much as possible, I would wish that collectively we find a solution to this problem. Yeah. And I appreciate that as a media house and somebody who has been very benevolent and has been a youth advocate is very much interested in this matter. Yeah. At the end of the day, when we go into it, whatever comes out there, we should be able to share with the public out of the necessary transparent medium for people to believe and understand what we have done. It's just like the Nooks Food Bank initiative that we introduced to support students during the COVID times. My coordinator, Naneku Abuzia, has been very fantastic in putting together resources for them to be able to put this thing together. In the coming days equally, I deliberately put my finance committee head or my treasurer, my FC, out of this process so that a third-party person organizes it and comes to account to him. So that he also goes to account, so that there is that independence for people to at least trust the system.
Okay, one thing we want every Ghanaian student to know is that Youth Empowerment Television Show will be following keenly on the activities of this new Nooks executive and even the previous ones. You see, times have changed. If we give airtime for such interviews, we need to really monitor very, very well. So Tenkaro will be in the studios. We'll get him because he's also very accessible. And if Tenkaro explains all of this, I'm sure we'll get to understand better. Because there were so many allegations, so many of them. And the one that is shocking is because at the end of the day, you have to leave. My time is up. This person says that it's this serious image leaving the country into their hands. God knows. This one says that, please, I'm begging the president of Ghana's President of Students Union to be a good leader. I mean, why is he hiding things from us? Now, he says that he doesn't have the fact at hand. It was just presented to him. So he has promised you guys that he's going to work on that, and Nooks will speak on that particular issue. This one says that Ghanaian students aren't getting what the president said, though. He was doing a rush. Can Jay explain it? I think I have to believe in. This one says that, hey, Richie, I saw you and Jay Pan during the Lost Student demonstration. The way they are there, Pan, it be like you the mafia am today. He understands this. Lord bless it. This one says that, good afternoon, Richmond. Kudos to you and your team for the good work you are doing for the students of Ghana. Let me congratulate President Jay Hyde for his magnificent hard work he's doing for Ghanaian students. This is the best president we need so far. Best response President of Nooks Jay has given to you on the office renovation. He has a bright political future. You have pushed him on behalf of the Ghanaian student, and he has answered you on behalf of the Ghanaian student. Okay, lots of them. But let me be honest. This thing would see. We are going to even give you bank statements. We are going to show you evidence of certain things going on. When you are elected as a student leader, there's a lot that is required, because Nooks, GAPS, USAC, every SRC, every position you occupy, the good thing is that it is a preparation for you to take the realms of our national politics to a different height. So all of the people we are seeing here with Nooks are great potential leaders we are going to have in our country. So these are all good pressures they must face from Youth Empowerment TV crew. If you want to get more details of this story we are talking about, visit www.ghananewsmail.com at 5 p.m. There will be a publication on the account, everything about the Nooks issue. You get to know it. Jay, please speak to your students in a minute so that we can go.
Fellow students. And I say fellow students with a laughter because it reminds me of the president, fellow Ghanaians. But I mean, these are not normal times. But while it is not normal times, we also cannot play with our education. Our health is paramount, and for which reason, before we sit in a classroom, we need to have ensured that we are in the right state of mind, we are in the right state of environment, and we have the relevant materials for us to be able to study and impact positively on our society. At this stage, we are doing whatever is necessary for us to mitigate the plight of our average students. And for that matter, we can only seek your support and your prayers for us to go through this and come out successfully in your interest. We appreciate the support thus far. We are hoping that, inshallah, we shall work together and bring out the best for the citizens of Ghana. Thank you for the support thus far. God bless you. Okay, so we'll get you that particular video of your last address to them so that can also go on the platform. Your Nooks administrator sent me very interesting. It says that Richmond, we beg. We are working. Richmond, we beg. We are working hard to make things better. This one says that we would work to promote the interest of all. Thank you. This one says that Nooks president, I love his shoes. Hey, is that a gift from the president? This is from Jamfi in University of Ghana. Why, his shoe too from the president. It says that I love you, my host. Just keep him intact to clear everything for us. We need every information regarding the office. This is Mohammed from Tamale. Please, if you let the story die, like the way Kennedy Japan allowed Reverend Beduko be issued to. Please, we are two different human beings. Thank you very much. This is Youth Empowerment Television Show. My name is Richmond Amufasa. Tomorrow, Lawyer Ogo will be here. We'll bring you a continual update. First things you must look for before you choose a life partner. We'll continue tomorrow. Thursday, John DeMello will be in the studios here for us to have a profiling interview. Your Excellency, we are most grateful for this particular opportunity. We thank you that anytime we call you, you accept that. People are saying that maybe the next time we call you won't come because now we are pushing you. So the next time, if he doesn't, we'll let you know why. Thank you so much, Jay. It's such a pleasure. We'll get you the video of your address so that it can also go viral. If you say a prayer, say some for me. It is for God and country. Bye-bye.